Okay, Will,
Yes.
did you ever have like rich friends growing up, or like in high school or in college?
Yes.
Was
But
it-
I don't want to. I don't want
talk
to. I
about
don't want
it?
to name the person. No.
I'm not asking you to name
Okay.
them.
Yeah. I had a friend that was definitely doing pretty well.
Right. And did you have like a strange experience when you would like hang out with them at their place where you're just like, wow, this is not my lifestyle. I don't feel like I fit in, or this feels like another world here kind of thing?
Not that rich.
Not that rich?
Not that rich.
Okay. Well, maybe I have the best comparison because I had a friend like that.
Okay.
And I obviously I'm not going to dox this person. I will keep them anonymous.
Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I did have an experience like that where it's like, wow, this is extravagance. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say more on that? Or
yeah.
Okay.
One of my friends in middle school, his dad, before he unfortunately died of cancer, was a prop maker on multiple movies, including The Phantom Menace.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
And so my friend had a picture of himself living in a pod racer, Mohonic's pod racer, in fact, and he had a puppet of Yoda.
Nice.
Like one of the I guess one of the puppets from Phantom Menace that they used for Yoda before they went to CGI.
Before they went to digital.
It was in his house. And I remember the one of the 2 times that I spent the night there, his house was fucking massive. Yeah. And his mom did not have to work, obviously, because the untimely passing of his father. But yeah, it was definitely like, fuck, man, I wish this could be me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I had a buddy who his parents had an enormous estate, and going over there was so strange. You know what I mean? Like, parents were never home,
right?
And we were right at that age where we were just becoming adults. You know what I mean? So like, but not having parents around was like still really cool.
Yeah.
And but we weren't drinking age yet still, but like obviously we did.
Yeah.
I like Googled how to like roll a blunt in his kitchen one time, because we were like trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we were pulling up YouTube videos on how to do it.
Yeah.
But it was just like another world going over there and just being like, not debauchery necessarily. Like rolling a blunt and drinking was like the worst things we really got up to there.
Yeah. But I mean, same in my teens and 20s. Similar things, just like playing video games till 3 a.m. and getting drunk as shit, Right.
Like, but like the difference there was like it was a humongous place and there would be like workers coming and going, to like work on the lawn and stuff, but never parents. Like never saw the parents.
Damn, you had like, we have workers, friends?
No, like people that would come and like work on the lawn, and people would come and work on the pool, and they'd be like, hey, don't mind, like someone's just going to come in and clean later. And it's like, oh, okay.
That's tight.
And it's like, and where are your parents again? Like, oh, they're at our like summer home or whatever. And it's like, okay, man. Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, it was just like really weird experience.
It's very different.
And, like, the dynamics of that were so strange to me. I remember one time getting into his car, and this was like 2007 or 8, and his car said, welcome, name of friend. And I was like, I didn't know cars were talking. I don't even think that's standard now, is it?
I don't think it is.
I wish I could remember what this car was too. But yeah, it just like straight up like over the audio system welcomed the guy.
That's pretty tight.
By name. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's a different reality.
It really is. Yeah.
Like going from every other weekend I'm with my dad and I don't know where I'm sleeping. I could be sleeping in a truck to, going to a friend's house. Like, yeah, that's one of 3 Yodas.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Holmes.
Oh, no.
That's my one of 3.
That's one of 3 Yodas that on from Phantom
We should
Menace.
all be Bernie ran on that platform. a Yoda
a man
for every
should
household.
only have 1 Yoda and maybe half of a Yoda max. We can never have more than 1 Yoda in your house.
1% of this country is hoarding all the Yodas. From a spare bedroom in Florida, it's Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk. Each week on our show, of course, my co-host Will Taylor and I explore a film and bring you details and discussion about that film. Today's program, the 2023 movie Saltburn. Stay with us.
You got to kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you got to take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere.
It is all around us.
Who are you? I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells. Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Saltburn was a popular and polarizing movie that dropped late last year, and if you haven't seen it, you've probably heard about it. Whether it's the infamous bathtub scene, the odd way the film makes an obvious twist reveal, or the extended nude dance sequence at the end of the film. The film made waves in pop culture, and it's from a fast up-and-coming filmmaker, Emerald Fennell. Fennell, I think I've heard it pronounced, actually. It might not be Fennell. It looks like Fennell.
Here, I'll just look it up. You keep going.
Hey, okay. You may have seen Emerald's previous film, which she also wrote and directed, Promising Young Woman. Will, did you like that movie?
Is that the one where the lady's friend gets sexually assaulted and dies, and then she goes
on like kind of like a vengeance streak where she's like trying to trap guys?
Jared, that movie is so fucking good. Yeah. Or at least I thought it was fucking good. I loved that movie.
Yeah. I mean, it won. I think it won an Oscar.
Yeah, I think it did too. Fennell, Fennell, because it's Fennell, where I think Fennell is Fi, so it's got to be Fennell.
Oh, really? I thought like the vegetable was spelled like that still.
Well, I mean, depending on where you're from, it could be spelled or it said vegetable.
I remember liking Promising Young Woman at first blush, but the more I look back on it, like come award season, I remember I'd been reading more and more criticism about it, and I like kind of soured on it a little bit more.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie. And when I first watched Saltburn last year, I really enjoyed it. Rewatching it this time, I have also soured on it.
Oh.
So maybe there's a possibility that her films do not have good rewatchability.
Yeah.
There's a possibility, but I'm not too sure. I guess we'll explore that.
I think Carey Mulligan and Bo Burnham were like excellent in Promising Young Woman, though. But yeah, I feel like the script was just trying a little too hard to be clever.
Okay.
And I might have similar feelings about this movie.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, it was like a Death Wish, but for women in the Me Too era kind of movie. Well, like which has been done before, like as recently as 81 or as far back as 81. Like Mrs. 45 was basically like a gender twisted Death Wish.
I don't think I've ever seen the original Death Wish, and I definitely have not seen that.
You're not missing anything.
Okay.
But like for cultural reasons,
Gotcha.
like it was like, came out in the 70s when,
it's like grindhouse
white
cinema.
rage. Yeah. And it was like, well, I'm just going to like start shooting, druggies in the streets and stuff, and that's like a whole genre of itself now.
Right.
But yeah, it was a fun premise. And, but I feel like the film tried to be a little bit weightier than it could manage. And like the second half of the film really kind of fell apart for me with her whole like revenge plot.
I thought that was awesome. Yeah. I liked watching her get revenge. Yeah. I thought it was fun.
But this isn't that episode.
It is not. I didn't even know they were the same director. I didn't even look it up.
Yeah. Writer and director too.
Wow.
Yeah. So from start to finish, those were her stories. Yeah. Anyway, that brings us to Emerald's sophomoric effort, Saltburn. Now, as an addendum, we are covering this movie today because a friend and listener of the show reached out to me and was curious if we'd be interested in covering it. And I was like, I remember that movie coming out. It made some waves. I think it'd be interesting. I think a lot of people have already seen it. So like, it'll be nice to like cover something that people have familiarity with too.
Yeah.
Don't like to always just do weird, obscure movies. Like come and see. Even though that episode... pretty good listeners.
Oh, I was actually going to say, like, is that our worst one? Oh,
no, it's The Wrestler.
The Wrestlers.
Which is amazing because...
that movie's so good. I don't fucking care.
Well, it won so many awards.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody listened to our episode.
That's a bummer because it's a really good movie and it's a really good episode.
But, so I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And, spoiler, I had a very negative reaction.
Did you?
And I was starting to back off the idea of doing this episode because I was like, that would be so rude to be like, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll cover that movie. And then like make a whole episode where I'm like talking shit about it. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I didn't like the movie. And then I posted like the Jim meme from The Office where he's like hiding in the car, rolling his seat down.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't like it either. And I went, oh, thank God.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, Girl, I'm so relieved.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, you can still dislike a movie and have like legitimate criticisms about it. Like, this isn't going to be. We're not going to do, Rebel Moon 2 on this.
No, I'm not coming in here to just completely like throw.
There are things about this movie that I like and that I did like the first time that I watched it.
Yeah.
I have some serious criticisms on the second the rewatch.
Right.
So, did you only watch it once?
I did.
Okay,
but like, just a few days ago, like it's super fresh on.
Yeah.
I started it and then took like a week break because something happened.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and we had to push the episode. We were supposed to record this a while ago.
Yes.
And then I just didn't come back to it until way later also. But it's very fresh in my mind. But I'm glad that you've seen it twice now. So
yeah, I've seen it twice.
Yeah. But yeah, I told her, I'm like, I didn't like it. She's like, I didn't either. And I was like, oh, I'm so relieved. So now I don't feel bad if I cover it and just say that I didn't like it. And she's like, no, I just want to know why so many people like this movie.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to hear us talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just name her because I didn't get her consent to drop her name, but she knows who she is.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening, and thank you for recommending this movie.
Yes.
So yeah, I've kind of, given the game away a little bit, but I didn't like it.
Okay.
Ultimately.
Sure. But
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautifully shot movie.
Yes, it is. Fennell knows what she's doing. I actually think that she's a competent director and writer. Even if you don't like the film, like, it's very well done. It's very well shot. Everybody who's acting in it is doing a pretty good job. I love Barry Keoghan in this. Not as much as, him in The Green Knight, even though the part in The Green Knight was very small. He played it very well. I quite enjoy it. I do like Barry Keoghan. I've seen him in quite a few things, like Killing of the Sacred Deer. He's the antagonist of that film. And like, that
was one of his first big films.
He's good. He's really good at what he does.
I wanted to bring up the director of cinematography. He is Damien Chazelle's director of cinematography.
Okay.
That's the guy who did like La La Land and Whiplash.
Okay. Whiplash is so good.
Yeah. So this DP, like,
he knows what's up.
Director of cinematography. Yeah, he can shoot a goddamn movie.
Yeah.
He did Babylon, which, like, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on.
I haven't seen it.
My wife watched it, and I think it really had to sit with her. You know what I mean? Like, it's a maximalist movie.
I gotcha.
He also did the last James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which was beautiful. Like,
I haven't seen that either.
It's not the best Daniel Craig Bond movie, but like, it's not bad. But yeah, this guy,
it's not his fault if it's bad.
No, but it's beautiful. Yeah. Like, I'll still remember that the shot of that movie that, like, I'm sure everyone thinks about, not to give it away, but it's the last Daniel Craig Bond. So something happens in it, and it's like really beautiful, yeah. But yeah, I had to pull that name because I was like, I know the DP was like,
we got to give him credit.
Yeah. And, but also, like, some of the shots, and it's probably because they were in the script, are just like, this movie is not subtle. There's a lot of like minotaurs, and like, there's even straight up like a statue of a minotaur in the middle of the maze in the family's yard in their estate. There's
what's the significance of the minotaur other than like the Greek?
He's a monster waiting at the middle for this family. Barry Keoghan is the minotaur, like his character Ollie.
I guess
he is preying on this family.
What's funny? It's like I did not catch that until the
Second
other
watch.
protag, the tall handsome guy from Euphoria.
Yeah. Oh, Jacob Elordi, the main Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
Okay,
Felix. Yeah. Drives them to his parents' house. At that point, I'm sure they were dropping details the first time that I was watching that. I'm sure they were dropping details that he was definitely like a predatory person and not very honest.
Yeah.
But it didn't click for me until Felix drove him to his parents' house and all of the wall of lies had fallen.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about Archie Madeke. Madek.
Farley. Wow, where did I get Nathaniel from?
I don't know. Yeah, I had Riley, and I was like halfway there.
You were.
Farley. I thought you were going to say him because he was, to me, he was the standout. I thought he was doing a lot of interesting stuff. I really liked him.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, he was playing a very good catty person. Like he was down to like get rough and tumble. He was kind of like outside the royalty, quote unquote,
a little bit, but he was also the only one, and from the very beginning,
that didn't
to
trust
know
him.
that Barry was a fucking interloper.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking snake.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of why I picked up on it too, because when he starts like getting shitty with him at Oxford, it's not because of like he's snobby. It's because Ollie is a piece of shit from the beginning.
I honestly thought it was a jealousy thing. Because
I think that's the implication at first,
right? But
yeah.
I guess like I think the reason why Farley is not standoffish, but like abrasive to Ollie's character is because he is in a way an interloper too. His mom was a part of the family,
right? Absolutely, because he has to ask for money. Yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly. He has to ask for money. He's on the outside. He doesn't want anybody else coming in and pushing him out and taking that role. So it was a self-preservation thing. Game recognizes game in a way, like especially during the karaoke scene where Farley makes Ollie sing the song that's like, "I love you, pay my rent."
Yeah, the
Pet Shop Boy song.
Yes,
and Ollie turns around and goes, "Hey, Farley, come over here. This is your song too."
Yeah, exactly.
And
this is also
and he immediately sings it beautifully, is dancing, really feeling it, because that is who he is.
He can play the role better.
He knows exactly who he is. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for so long. That is who he is.
Yeah.
Whereas Ollie is like a hermit crab trying to like shove his butt into Farley's living situation and become the person who embodies that. So like. Yes, he was clued into it, but I think when the way that I interpreted it was, I don't want this person here because that's my role. I am the leech. There cannot be multiple leeches. I am the leech.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, and that makes it make more sense. But my read of it was like, he fucking sucked.
Yeah, this guy was
even
setting up
before
alarms
he starts befriending Felix, he like didn't like him, and when he does, like. You realize he's part of Felix's group of friends. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, fuck this guy,
Yeah.
I should give the premise just in case anyone listening doesn't know. So the premise of Saltburn is a student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who invites him to the eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. And if that sounds intriguing, know that this film is basically Brideshead Revisited meets The Talented Mr. Ripley.
I've not seen any of those movies.
Brideshead Revisited is a classic novel about a guy, like a World War II veteran, reflecting on the time that he spent with a super rich friend that had a ginormous family estate. And he dated, like, I think the guy's sister for a long time. Mm-hmm. And, like, things just did not go well. And eventually, like, during the war, he finds himself like walking through the ruins of the estate.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And just kind of like having a flashback of like what his summers were like there as a boy, like with the family and stuff.
That's really cool. And the Talented Mr. Ripley.
That's the movie where, is it Matt Damon?
Fuck if I know, dude. I've never seen it.
I think it's Matt Damon. And he is like pretending to be this like super rich kid, but he's actually like a poor kid.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's not that. And I saw the twist of this movie coming from the very beginning of the movie. Like
I didn't.
When they do the reveal where he's walking through Rosamund Pike, how he orchestrated everything, I was like, yeah, I know. Why do you have to see the money in his wallet?
It's like, yeah, fucking duh.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I know. I figured out that he punctured that tire like at the very beginning. And like, it's so clear that he was orchestrating all of this. It gets more and more obvious that by the time when he is like revealing it to her, I'm like, do you think we're dumb? Like, obviously.
Well, much like how, not Christian Bale, sorry.
Hugh Jackman?
No, not Hugh Jackman.
Deadpool.
Oh my God. No, the guy who fucking did.
Christopher Nolan.
Thank you. Christopher Nolan is like the dumb guy, smart guy movie director dude.
Yeah.
That could be the same thing here. Like, oh, I watched Saltburn. I'm very, how you say, like, well on the know for cinema. It's pretty cool that this guy weaseled his way into the royals just to end up with the estate. He explained the whole thing at the end, and I really appreciated that kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't catch it. Like, I'm dead serious, dude. I wasn't. I did not catch it until like.
Well, how did you think Felix died?
Well, so hold on. No. I'm getting to it, right?
Yeah.
Once he started like fucking all three of the younger kids and hitting on the mom and like doing really outrageous shit.
Yeah.
I knew something was weird, and I believe that they even alluded to like a wasp that lays its egg, and whatever the creature is in is helped by like a cuckoo bird.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I was going to say, is that what you were saying? Yeah.
No. I knew it was something, and it reminded me of fucking Brightburn for whatever reason, because like the same analogy is in that movie Brightburn. Did you ever
really?
see Brightburn? No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's like it's basically.
Oh, that's not Bright, not the Will Smith.
No, not the Will Smith movie. No, it's the movie that was basically like Superman: The Red Sun.
Oh, evil Superman.
Evil Superman.
That's right. Okay, little kid, but he's evil, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
it's like, hey, we don't have the rights to do Red Sun, so we're just gonna do like off-brand Red Sun.
Yeah.
But they have like a similar analogy in that, and I was like, oh, okay. He's like trying to get their money.
Is there like a Soviet thing happening in Brightburn?
Nope.
That's what Red Sun's about, though.
I know, but Red Sun is what if Superman landed in Soviet Russia and he's evil?
Yeah.
And in Brightburn,
and he becomes like a tool of like Stalin's army. Though.
Yeah. And in Brightburn, the kid comes from a different planet. And
but is he like he's like a serial killer, though, kind of thing?
He doesn't start off that way.
Okay.
That's the thing. Is like he's raised by his mother, but he starts getting like more and more violent tendencies when he realizes like, oh, I'm better than all these people. They can't stop me. I can't get hurt.
Yeah,
I can do whatever I want. And it's like the what if Superman but no morals kind of thing. Basically, like how Homelander is now in the Boys.
Right.
Well, we are really off topic. Holy shit!
Remember Chronicle? That was such a good movie.
Chronicle? Yeah, I loved Chronicle. Actually, I genuinely liked Chronicle, and it was really,
it's a great movie.
Yeah, I was really fucking disappointed.
With this Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Josh
You're right.
Trank,
Yeah. The fucking the director bombed on Fantastic Four, and I think he hasn't gotten another good shot ever.
Oh, you know why, right?
No.
He was like showing up to set drunk on Fantastic Four. He was losing it. Yeah.
Dude, come on, man.
Yeah, allegedly.
And I was like also bummed out with the two Spider-Man films, because like the Sony ones that were in between Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield. Yeah, because
amazing Spider-Man.
The kid who plays Green Goblin in that second, or is it the second one? Yeah. The second one is the villain from Chronicle, and I really like him too.
Oh, not Paul Giamatti is the Rhino.
No, although I did kind of like the idea of like mechanizing the Rhino. I thought that was actually kind of neat, but whatever. Yeah. Anyways, he's got to stop doing this to me.
What were we talking about?
But like, yeah, I think I figured out halfway through. I did not catch it at the beginning that this kid was going to try to like systematically remove all these people just to get their money. Like, I did not see that coming.
Well, was that the goal the whole time?
Absolutely.
I think he only killed Felix because he found out. I think his goal was to finagle his way into the family, and then his plans changed.
Oh, you think that he like called an audible?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because that's why he fucks the grave, which again, he fucks a grave.
Oh yeah. So
let's just sit with that.
Hold on. Finish your synopsis, because I want to say.
Oh, that's the whole. Okay. Unless you want me to read the plot.
No. I think that the reason why this movie is so fucking memorable is because there's so much outrageous shit that happens. Much like Barry Keoghan fucking a grave.
Yeah.
That was fucking weird. Him dancing through the house butt-ass naked in Jubilee. Very weird. Him eating out Venetia while she's on her period and being like, I'm a fucking vampire, and like taking the blood from his face and putting it in her mouth and all that other stuff. That was kind of like outrageous, sneaking into Farley's room and like jerking him off and telling him he's a good boy. Fucking weird.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All but one of those scenes were improvised. They were not originally in the script.
You're kidding me. And then him like going and like licking the cum out of what's his name's bathroom drain is fucking nasty. Which one was
that
scripted?
One was the grossest one.
Yeah,
I wasn't bothered by anything else.
Yeah.
Well, the grave I was just annoyed by. I wasn't grossed out by.
Yeah,
it. But
at that point,
thing,
at that point in time, it's like the absurdity has gone out the fucking window.
Yeah. He's already done up enough crazy shit that you're like, fine. Yeah, fuck the earth, fuck the grave. Great. Yeah. Okay. So first. The scene where he jerks off Farley.
Yes.
That wasn't in the script.
Tight.
I guess Barry and Archie developed charisma or Riz.
Riz, as you call it, as the youngins
they
call
had chemistry.
Yeah.
And so they went to Emerald and were like, hey, what if actually like he kind of plays on him sexually?
Yeah.
And like, and then so that happens. And then the grave thing, okay. Barry originally he was just supposed to like, I guess, kiss the earth or like lay down and hug it maybe. Mm-hmm. And he goes to Emerald before they shoot, like on set. And he's like, I have an idea. Will you just roll with it? And she's like, yeah, sure. And so to everyone's surprise, he just like drops trowel and starts fucking the earth. And he says that like everybody on set was dead silent afterwards and nobody said a word to me when I went back to my trailer.
That's awesome.
And it's like, why did they leave that in? I think they should have told him no.
So actually, you know what's... I think...
I guess it ended up being like a viral moment for the movie. But
well, okay, so that's what I was going to say. It's so like stupid. A lot of the absurdity of the film, it like, how do you say, gets people talking about it and gets people watching it. And so that's all they remember...
I saw someone describe this movie as Euphoria. Brideshead Revisited meets Euphoria.
Yeah.
So that like it gives you all this like outrageously shocking but vapid shit that happens in it, you know?
I mean, that's what I was going to say is like all people remember is the shocking stuff and none of the rest of the film.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's all they're talking about. And to an extent, I agree with that because I remember my first watch through, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. A lot of crazy stuff happens. I love crazy stuff. This is a good movie, you know? And then rewatching it, Jared, I haven't told you what happened while I was rewatching it, but I've been, having an issue falling asleep recently because I did some time in Tacoma, and that's a 3-hour time difference.
You got arrested.
I got arrested in Tacoma. Yeah, I was wilding out a little too hard. Yeah. And so like I've been staying up till about 1:30, 2 o'clock every. I know. I'm gonna move my arm in just a minute whenever I'm not talking. Okay.
You already bumped it.
I'm not bumping it.
You bumped it when you first put it on. It went.
Oh,
sorry.
I didn't even think it made a noise. Anyways,
your flow.
Anyways. But I've been staying up till like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning every single morning for like a week now. So when I went to rewatch this film, it was after House of Dragon. So this is like 10, 12. The movie's about 2 hours and
Sunday,
20 minutes on a Sunday night, right? And so I'm like, I'm fine. I've been staying up till 1:30. This shouldn't be a problem. And Jared, I fell asleep. because this movie's boring as fuck.
Yeah, I agree.
This movie's boring as shit.
Yeah.
If you already know all the shock stuff, it doesn't fucking matter. The only thing that I found intriguing about the film, the second watch through, was like, oh yeah, this takes place in 2006.
Yeah, it's a period piece.
Yeah, and so like a lot of the stuff that they're showing on the television when they're all just watching TV was like, like Harry Potter, like the second or third movie, and they're talking about like, man, wouldn't it be crazy if she ended the series with all three of them just fucking each other, you know? And it's like, that's a missed opportunity. And just thinking about like, what was it like in 2006? Like what I remember from 2006.
Yeah.
And, that was cool. It was a little nostalgia trip. I enjoyed that. And also, a couple of different details, like Barry Keoghan's character clearly did his research on the family, because he's a what do they call him? A person who's interested in novels. He's a literature major in the high school, right?
Okay.
So or the college. He's read a lot of books, and specifically books about the heritage of that family, because he mentions something like, what's her name? Or that's very similar to a story by this author and the guy from Euphoria, the really tall, handsome guy.
Jacob Elordi.
Thank you. Jacob says, oh yeah, she based all of her novels off of our family.
Yeah.
And that was like a small clue that should have told Jacob that Barry was doing his research.
Yeah.
And so there's like, that's what I was trying to look for on my second watch through, is like shit that he says that comes back to his research.
Yeah.
So like when they're doing that montage and they show like, oh, he read a magazine that's in the house about the china that they got, and he's an expert on that. He's just doing things to ingratiate himself to this family to make it look like he's not a leech and just like a friend. Whereas there's two other characters that are vying for the same position. Farley, who's already there, and poor dear Emma, who they kick out because she's pathetic. And she's not adding anything to the conversation. She's just an obvious leech. So it's, that part's interesting, but everything else, the absurdity of all the shit that happens is not second watch through. And like, I'm dead serious, Jared. I fell asleep and woke up right as he's telling what's her name, how he did it all.
Rosamund Pike. Yeah.
I fell asleep after he jerked off Farley, and I woke up when he was telling Rosamund Pike all the stuff they did. And I was like, I already know what all happens, and I don't care. I don't care to rewind this. I don't care to like try and watch try and watch this again, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
You know, so like, that's why I'm like concerned that if I rewatch Promising Young Woman, I'll hate it. You know, I'm concerned about that. But that movie wasn't nearly as outrageous. I feel like
it's a stronger movie.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as outrageous as this. And to find out that a lot of it was Barry, like the him sexually working over all of the younger people to keep all of his options open to figure out how to solidify himself into the family, that makes sense. So all that weird, absurd shit, fine, whatever you got to do to like really, you know, excite these aristocrats so that you can
seduce them.
Yeah, seduce them and keep them around, or have them keep you around, versus like fucking a rave. You know, that's a little out there, man. And it's a shame to hear that was like his suggestion, because it detracts from the movie. Like people think about that, not the rest of the film.
Yeah. The dance at the end too, where he's just dancing naked throughout the whole mansion.
Mm-hmm.
That was also not the original ending. Originally he's supposed to be sitting there and like being served dinner, and the head butler that like hates him just serves him a plate of runny eggs, which he hates.
That would have been better.
I know, but that's too subtle for this movie.
God damn it.
Instead, he's just parading around, dick flopping out. Okay, by the way, this is a tangent, but a thought that I had, this is very personal.
You're thinking a lot about Barry Keoghan's wiener?
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen another man's wiener as much as I've seen his now.
Fair. Sure about that, Jared? Sure about not about like Johnny Sins or anything? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just being.
Well, let me continue.
Okay.
I have never been more sure that I couldn't be gay, because dicks are just they're not sexy. They're just so funny. I don't know if this is going to stay in, but like,
should keep it in.
The nude male body. Like I have seen men who are attractive. Okay.
Sure.
But like from like the torso down, they're just goofy looking to me. Like even men who are in really good shape, it just looks goofy to me.
Yeah, dicks do look really fucking weird.
But like that whole area, even on a like from like a guy that's like, you know, peak male perfection, you know, like this is what male looks like.
If Ryan Gosling got butt ass naked in front of you, you'd be like laughing because you can't handle a penis. I got you. I understand. I guess like I've seen so many dicks now that it didn't even register me. I was just like, oh, this is goofy.
No, it didn't really faze me either, but I just kept thinking how funny it was. Every time I would see it flip, I would just giggle. Like,
oh, you didn't watch Game of Thrones?
No.
There's a lot of flopping dicks in that show.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of incest and sexual assault.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah, there's a lot of that too.
Oh, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I know. That's why I'm not watching it.
That's why I rolled my fucking eyes. Anyways, continue. Do you got any cool facts about this? You got any reviews?
I mean, other than what I just gave you.
Ayo Adibri have a letterbox review about this film?
She does. It was, I'll paraphrase it because I don't have it in front of me, but it was like, that man ate that girl out on her period, but he couldn't eat runny eggs. You know, something to that extent. I love how you still loved it. I was like, I was not prepared, but I just
so fucking funny, dude.
She's great.
Everything she fucking says kills me.
I didn't pull any like review quotes for this because I actually found myself in the minority, not really digging this.
Oh yeah,
there were very few. It has like a 70.
It's not like it's bad acted though. That's the thing. Like, what are you going to critique the movie on? What are you going to critique the movie on other than like you know
the script? I think the script is horrible.
Yeah. But like I don't know. Wow, my brain was moving way faster than my mouth.
Same.
When you were looking for reviews, did you not see anybody else talking or critiquing the script?
I did, but I didn't want to cherry pick it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to come at this like with an agenda.
You almost never do that, anyways, though, Jared. Like you usually like do a fair like you'll say this person had a glowing review, this person didn't really, and then we'll go to Letterboxd and make Will laugh. Yeah, that's usually what you do. So I assumed that you'd have like a couple of those.
I just felt like I didn't like this movie, and I don't know if that stuff is boring, so like I didn't want to pull it this time. I was scrolling through them and it was so much of it was just like, you know, raving about how the movie is such a clever satire, and I'm like, but it's not. I don't think it is. So I didn't want to pull it. Maybe by not trying not to have an agenda, I ended up having an agenda.
That's
so,
good. Yeah, I think that it would have been fine to do it. Just like, hey, this is what this person thinks, and this is what the majority thinks. Yeah, but this is how I see it, and I'll tell you what, Jared. I was review 1 and then I watched it again and now I'm review 2, you know? I will say this too. We talked about the menu last year.
Yeah.
And the menu you were kind of cold on because it was like, it's a bunch of rich fucks behind the camera critiquing capitalism and whatnot.
And I didn't think it was a successful satire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking a lot about what you said about the menu when I was watching this film the second time around.
I didn't make that connection, but I'm really glad that you did.
Because this is another one. Well, I was actually curious what you would think about this because I had no idea what the fuck you thought about this film. You're like, hey, I watched it. We can talk about it, whatever. So I was thinking to myself, like, what if I was sitting here talking with Jared about this movie, what do you think he would think about? And I had a feeling that you would kind of have a similar critique about the menu, in which like this movie does kind of dissect this dichotomy between your average American or average citizen, because this movie doesn't even take place in America.
A middle class person. He's ostensibly middle class.
Yeah. Well, he's got a two-story house. Like I don't know if that's middle class in 2006. That's maybe I was never middle class to begin with.
It was pre.
The housing crisis.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Anyways, so like you've got this guy.
He was in Oxford on a scholarship, which I think is an important point.
That is true.
Yeah.
So you've got this guy who's very average, and he is thrust into this life of lavishness through a friend.
Yeah.
And wants to continue living like that through either selfish or devious reasons. And the movie does, in a way, like show how these people are out of touch. They are able to easily keep and discard people as if they were trash. They hold people's opinions in high regard if that person is interesting. Like there's that part where nothing has happened yet, and Barry Keoghan is out there with the Gone Girl. I cannot remember her name. I'm so sorry.
Rosamund Pike.
Thank you. And I love her. She's a great actress.
She's amazing.
I keep forgetting her name, but he's out there with Rosamund Pike. And
I like how you said Gone Girl. That's like her best movie too.
That movie fucking rules. But anyways, so he's like, they're talking about Emma, her friend Emma, and he's like, yeah, I think she's kind of boring. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I should kick her out. But like, and she does it in a really, really like, I don't know how to describe the way that she does it, but it's very mean, manipulative, as if like she kind of forced Emma to say that she's going to leave, and then is like, oh no, you can't. And it's like, oh well, I could stay longer. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Very like,
it's like a gaslighty kind of way to like manipulate people into making them think it's their own idea.
It's just like there's so many little things that are presented to the viewer about what this image of people who live lavishly,
like characteristics of like the upper class,
and how they're so different from a normal, not a normal,
they're not
like a
direct.
Yeah, exactly. And they, like I said, like they just treat people as if they're objects instead of people.
Yeah.
But Barry Keoghan's character also, in a way, does the exact same thing. He's treating them not as people, but as resources.
Yeah.
In a way. And so, like, I don't know if this movie was trying to do what the menu was trying to do. What is your opinion?
I think, like the menu, this movie is unsuccessfully trying to satirize, the class disparity, like the upper crust, the elite. And I'm so glad you made the comparison to the menu, because like the fucking menu, the characters that are representational of the middle class or even the lower class are psychopaths. And it's like, what? What are we doing here? Like, you can just have people that represent the majority of people
on this planet.
Yeah. Without making them like
sinister.
Yeah, exactly. Sinister. Yeah, like out to kill them. And not just for survival's sake, but like, because on the menu, they're like, we're going to kill everybody on this island and ourselves. And in this movie, Barry Keoghan's like, I'm going to manipulate everyone here and eventually kill them all so that I am left owning all of their possessions, essentially. Yeah. And it's like, okay, are they more evil, though, than the rich people that we're supposed to hate?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think you can say so. And also, both movies were made by people who grew up rich and are themselves the elite people. Emerald Fennell, right?
Fennell, yeah.
Fennell. Herself is a rich, wealthy socialite, was born into money. Her dad is a very famous jewelry designer, and her mom is a famous author. She's so rich and famous, in fact, that on her 18th birthday, it was attended by many celebrities and lords and ladies, because she's British. So like literal like lords and ladies.
Yeah.
And it was covered by a popular British tabloid, Tatler. And I'm reading all of this after I watched the movie, and I'm like, fucking course. Like, of course this was written by a rich person.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not biting enough. It's like the most clever thing about it is like how accurately it depicts how rich people like converse with each other.
Yeah.
But then that's it. There's nothing else really going on up there.
Gotcha.
You know? And like,
well, other than the absurd stuff, the stuff that's going to make people talk.
Right. But the actual like clever satire of it to me was like, it's just getting that like, yeah, this is how rich people like behave with each other. Also, she provided like a lot of the wardrobe, because she was like, oh, I was rich and went to Oxford in 2006. I'll just give you the clothes that we wore. We kind of dressed down because we don't want people to think of us as rich. So we just try to wear normal looking clothes.
Where'd you read this?
Behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, man.
She's very open about it. It's not a secret, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean,
yeah,
you know me, man. I don't read.
Oh, so. Yeah. But, yeah. And so there's also a lot of like, and this is an aside, but there's a lot of anachronisms in the film where, because the movie is set in like 06 and 07.
Yes.
And there's like they watch Superbad. And
that's right. Yes,
they listen to a lot of like music that wasn't out yet. Like it came out like a year later, and like Superbad came out, I think like 6 months after the film is set. And like when she's been confronted about this, she's like, oh, her excuse for the Superbad thing was like, oh, well, they would have had connections with people in Hollywood, so they would have gotten an advance copy of the movie. And it's like, just admit, like, it's wrong. Like, no one's gonna care. Like,
yeah,
it only exists on like a fucking goof page on IMDb.
I mean, it's a critique,
weird
though.
Idiots.
It's a critique of your art, so of course you're gonna be defensive.
But like, maybe be loosey goosey with the year, and that way you're not like pigeonholing yourself. I don't know. It just seems like
lessons learned, I guess.
Yeah, but to me, it like, it shows me that she's like kind of defensive about it, and it's like,
of course she's defensive. Well, it's art. I mean,
yeah, I know.
We haven't had any real criticisms about this show, but you know, if somebody said something like negative,
oh, I would fly off the handle on them.
Yeah. I'd tell them to go fuck themselves.
But no, I would admit, it's not that serious. It's a podcast recorded in my spare bedroom. It's fine. But yeah, it's just like, she's not committing to the bit that hard if she's getting like pulling in lots of songs and like even movie references that aren't out at the time. You know? Like, then don't be that upset when people like kind of
call you out for it. Yeah.
Just be like, it's a movie. Move on. You're like, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
And like, that's not even like, it doesn't detract from like the point of it either.
No,
kind of
it's
thing, you know?
It's just observations. It's
right.
not.
It's like a cinema sense complaint. Like,
exactly. It's not a real complaint about like what we're being presented. It's more or less like, oh, that wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
And then we move on. You know.
But so to me, a thought that I had in my head was like a much more successful version of this movie, which does very similar things, you know, without maybe some of the outrageous sexcapades. Yeah, is Parasite.
Oh my God, you're correct. Holy shit.
Yeah, the South Korean movie from years ago that like won tons of awards.
Yeah,
I'm sure
rightfully so.
Most people listening have seen it. And if you haven't, go check it out.
Yeah,
I'm kind of vaguely going to spoil some of it, and you shouldn't be spoiled on that movie. You should go see it. So Parasite, much like this film, has like a super rich, wealthy family and a, you know, I wouldn't even say, definitely not middle class. They are they are living in abject poverty. Family, not just one character, mind you.
This is I think the strength of Parasite 2 is it is a family.
Right, you have two different families, like on opposite ends of the class spectrum.
Yep,
and how there is, but they interact with each other, and so there's an extreme amount of like animosity there that is kind of just brewing underneath, and like. Kind of like Ollie in this film, they are scheming.
Yes.
And
at first just to enrich themselves.
To at least, you know,
survive.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not looking to like get one up on them. They're just like, they will hire us to do stuff and we will make enough money to live. We will be fine. Mm-hmm. But then it gets to the point where they become super desperate and then things happen, plot happens that I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
But like people end up getting murdered.
Yes.
Like people end up dying and being killed because of their, scheming.
Yeah.
Much
also,
like this movie.
Living in secrecy in the, fucking walls.
Don't spoil the movie.
That's not a spoil, but somebody lives in the walls. It's fucking cool as shit. Dude, that movie's so good. Anyways, continue.
But like this movie, like the scheming of the underclass people leads to murder, but you're sympathetic with everybody at all times. Like you get where everyone is and why you understand their motivations.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas with this movie, like the guy's literally just a sociopath.
Yeah.
And like, I saw it coming from the beginning, but the reveal of the movie is like, oh, did you know this? He was actually like a Machiavellian, like conducting everything from the beginning kind of thing. And like, that's supposed to be like, I guess the point of the movie. I don't know. But that's why it's so frustrating to me. Cause like, how is it a satire then? Cause like, it's just saying to me, it feels like it's saying without intentionally, but it feels like it's saying like, oh, well, people who don't get to live idle lifestyles like this are just so envious that they will just try to kill those people so that they can take it over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like the movie Parasite, even with that title, like it's so provocative. Yeah. Because like there are morons who watch that movie and think that, oh yeah, it's the poor people that are the parasites, but like it's titled that purposely, to be provocative. And it's like, what does it mean by that? Because it's never stated in the movie, but I digress.
It's a better filmmaker. Like the guy who did that has done quite a few films now, right?
He has, yes. Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
He is an incredible director. He's made some amazing films.
He's been around for a really long time. He knows what he's doing though.
And like classism, like has an undercurrent in all of his films.
Yeah, but because it's really bad in Korea as far as I know.
Extremely. Yeah. But guess why? They got it from us, baby.
Oh.
No, we gave them capitalism because of the Korean War.
Yeah.
So South Korea is the way it is because of us. And there's an extreme disparity between the rich and the poor there because their economy is basically like our economy. Like there's the poor farmers and then there's the rich tech assholes that live in Seoul.
Yeah.
And it's, but like South Korea is
we also give them misogyny too?
I'm sure. But like South Korea, like has had a flourishing film industry, like really take root within the last 20 years. And they've produced some of the most amazing films. Like they are really putting Hollywood to shame lately. And Parasite was just like a prime example of like, look at this shit, man. They are putting so many of our films to like American films to shame and talking on topics that we know intimately.
Yeah.
But I just think Parasite is a much more successful version of the themes that this movie is trying to do without, I guess, the sex, because I don't think there's any sex in Parasite. If it is, it's like a side thing.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's not the Saltburn has like an indie sleaze kind of genre going for it. You know what I mean?
Sure, but from a person who's not very indie.
Okay, we covered Spring Breakers.
Yes,
that's an indie sleaze movie.
Okay,
it's an independent film.
Yes,
that's very arty and trying to deal with topics and themes that you don't see in like mainstream cinema. But it's also incredibly sleazy. And it's like, is it like that because like a mainstream film couldn't be, or is it like that as like a way to just titillate audiences and bring in another half of people that wouldn't see a movie like this?
Gotcha.
Like,
Put my eyeballs on my product. I understand. What you mean. Okay.
Although I think you could argue Harmony Korine, the guy that made Spring Breakers, like just is in love with sleaze.
He's a nasty guy.
He's a sleaze guy.
Yeah. That's who he is. I forgot we talked about that movie.
Honestly, great movie, and apparently, Elon Musk's daughter that is dead to him.
Yes.
That he refuses to acknowledge now because he's a piece of shit. Loves that movie.
Valerie?
It's a V something.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Yeah. She likes that movie?
Yeah, she loves Spring Breakers. I just saw that today. Like,
good taste.
Just on a complete random tangent. Yeah.
Good taste, but also that director's kind of a fuck. He's kind of a fuck.
Dude, he's got a new movie coming out.
Oh, does he really? I was actually going to ask you if he's been in director jail or not. He's coming back?
No, he keeps making like small independent films.
Oh, okay.
It looks insane. Like the whole thing is filmed in like, it looks like thermal vision kind of.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like it's like in all neon and like all the colors are like inverted.
Kind of like how you would go to like channel 81 or 83 to like try and watch porn.
But like you mess with the sharpness. And like
because it's all like discolored and shit.
Sort of, but it's more than just like red and black, or at least that was my case.
Mine, dude, there were like greens and purples. It was really weird.
Like the fuzzy channel, I think is what.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but it's more like I think.
Okay.
And it looks like predator vision. You know what I mean? Like a thermal heat signature sort of thing. That's kind of what it looks like.
I don't know if I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm yawning. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I don't think if it's going to be the whole time like that, I don't know if I could do it. Like,
it's like, it's a gimmick, right? Like, is it actually going to be good?
And I've sat through some gimmick movies like Hardcore Henry, we saw that in theaters and that movie was fucking awesome.
That was
but
great,
I don't know if I can do it, man.
You know that guy? I don't know his name off the top of my head.
You want me? I'll look for it
if you must.
Yeah,
but he directed the music video for "False Alarm" for The Weeknd. Have you seen that?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm sure your wife would enjoy it too because she likes The Weeknd.
She does like The Weeknd.
Pull it up when you get home. It's a great video.
Are you ready for me to butcher somebody's name?
Oh, is he like Ukrainian or something?
Ilya Nashuler.
Yeah, he's Eastern European.
Yeah, he is. 100% he is.
Shout out to that guy. Hardcore Henry was cool.
It was great.
But the video for False Alarm is awesome. It's The Weeknd and some other guys like rob a bank, and it's all filmed with like a GoPro.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, dude.
I'm glad that he hasn't like gotten rid of that forced perspective thing because he's been.
That's like his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his thing, and nobody else has been doing it. And he, I just like the little engine that could, man. I can't believe he made a movie. It's so good.
Is it a mix of like him playing first person shooters like Counter-Strike his whole life and then also watching the Prodigy's like Smack My Bitch Up music video and just being like, that's the
I think that's what it was. Like it had to have been that. Like I know for a fucking fact that he played a lot of Call of Duty and Halo. Like I think he's on record talking about that kind of stuff.
He plays Escape from Tarkov now, I'm sure too. But there's a lot of RoboCop imagery in the False Alarm video,
of course
too. It's great because they're like in like the van from like the heist sequence in the beginning of RoboCop too, and it's so cool.
That's good.
I love that video. I'm gonna watch it when this is over. Oh my god, my phone is blowing up.
I was like, you got anything else for this?
I had some. Okay, you saw this movie twice. Maybe you caught this.
I did.
When the whole family is sitting down at breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah. They're talking about Shelley, the poet and author.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter Venetia is telling them a ghost story about how Shelley's maid would see his doppelganger walk past windows, and when she's saying that, Felix walks by in the background behind the window while he's sitting right next to her. Did you not catch it?
No, I did not.
Okay, I caught it. And I thought it was the most obvious thing in the world. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like be insulting.
Thank you, Jared. I know where I sit on this podcast. I know I'm the dumb guy.
I just thought it was so obvious. Like the movie was trying to be too clever, but it just reminded me of the scene in The Simpsons when they're Bart, Homer, and Lisa are watching Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
And like Bart is in like the Scouts in this episode, and he knows a lot about knots, and he's complaining about how like, no, Itchy wouldn't have tied that knot. That was the wrong knot. And Lisa goes, Bart, it's a cartoon. They don't have to be realistic. And then a second Homer walks by the family's like window and just walks right by.
Yeah, man, I didn't catch that. I did not catch that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I was probably falling asleep by that point.
Understandable. Too. Yeah. Okay.
Was this like the runny egg scene? Was this like at the same
yes,
time?
It was that. Okay. It was that meal. Yeah,
dude. That's when the fatigue was starting to hit me. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh god, this movie fucking sucks.
Ultimately, it's a beautifully shot movie. Like, it's exquisitely lit and shot. I think Barry Keoghan is an enormous talent, but I think he needs to stick with more experienced and talented directors.
I'm a little bummed that he like suggested some of the stuff that I did not care for.
Because also like you need to have a good director to tell you no.
Yeah. I wonder if Yorgos Lanthimos, I think is his name.
Yes.
I wonder if Yorgos does that with him. I'd also be curious to know. I was like, hey buddy, don't. I'm curious how much of Killing of the Sacred Deer was like his idea.
Right. How much stuff did he want to do as Joker? And Matt Reeves
Matt Reeves said, absolutely not. You're going to sit in this.
In fact, we're not even going to see your face.
Yeah. you stay behind the glass.
Yeah.
When are we getting the second one?
I don't know.
What a bummer.
I saw a reel the other day that was like a guy talking to himself from like 10 years in the future. And he's like, hey, how is the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson? And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, did they not make a sequel? And he's like, no.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Emerald Fennell, she's made 2 films that I think have intriguing premises, but ultimately end up meandering and kind of land with a thud by the end when they think they're being profound. But I'm not writing her off. I think she's very talented. And
yeah, I was actually going to ask Jared, like, if she comes out with a third movie, will you watch it?
Oh, I'll absolutely watch it.
Okay.
I think she's an interesting voice, and but I hope that she maybe does something a little more original than this next time too. Mm-hmm. Because Promising Young Woman was a very good premise.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie... it feels unoriginal, you know. It's cribbing so many things that have
all the things
done.
that you've pointed out has it makes sense. It makes sense. This is not something new. And in fact, if you're going to rip off the source material or the idea of something like this, you need to make sure that if you're going to have a critique, it needs to be a scathing critique and not making your every man into some sort of psychopath. You know?
Yeah. And I was thinking about this. I was like, is there another character that's not rich that isn't evil? And it's like, oh, I guess the butler.
Yeah.
He's barely a character, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I guess you're, I was going to say the math guy.
What is up with that guy?
Tell me a fucking sum. Do you know that guy's in the current, like, the House of the Dragon? He's one of the main characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's got a weird fucking face, and I've been watching House of the Dragon. Like, I literally just watched the episode right before watching the stupid fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I see that guy's weird shaped face with this fucking Habsburg jog, and I was like, holy shit, it's fucking Aemon Targaryen. What the hell? Yeah, it was really weird.
I think we all had friends like that in school, though.
I mean, I did.
You didn't?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I was like, that's the kind of guy that, like...
Jared, I think we had the same friend.
You did?
I think we had the same friend,
He wasn't
buddy.
that bad.
No, it was not bad.
God. But he's the kind of friend that, like, you just kind of end up with. You know what I mean? Like, because, like, you're just like you end up at this lunch table because you don't really know anybody, and
because you're a loser, and these are all the loser kids. So, and you all have something in common, like anime or card games. And then but then you make some other friends, and you're like, I'm actually gonna go over here now. I didn't do that.
You didn't? I didn't
do that. Like, whatchamacallit, when I went to high school, like, I lost a lot of my friends because they all went to different fucking high schools and shit. But I would still, like, see 2 of my middle school friends, and I would hang out with them. But I was morally just hanging out with the goth kids.
So for me, when I went to high school, it was like I was in a different district than my middle school, so I didn't really know anybody.
Yeah,
and I like my freshman year, like, I ended up just sitting at, like, you know, the table in the corner with, like, the offshoots, I guess you could say, you know, the black sheep. Yeah. And so we all just became friends. But then by 10th grade, like, I got a new friend group. It was all the anime kids and goth kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got a girlfriend. And so that'll
change your trajectory entirely.
Oh, yeah. And I never hung out with any of those guys again.
Yep.
And it was just like, I was always with my girlfriend, and then all of the weebs and goths and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And I never looked back.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's what happens. You know?
It is what happens.
You find a 6'5" beautiful man, and you follow him around the rest of your life. Jacob Elordi is 6'5".
Oh my god!
Yeah, they don't really like. They try to hide it because he's like a giant.
Yeah,
you know, compared to most actors, especially, but just people in general.
He's tremendous.
They had to special build the bathtub so that he looked normal in it too for that scene.
Shit, dude, that's wild. Yeah, you know, he's in Euphoria. He's like the antagonist.
I know that's what he's famous for.
Okay, yeah. He was also Elvis in the
and Priscilla.
Yeah. Actually, this movie made my wife really like him, and then Priscilla and Euphoria made her really not like him.
Right.
So, yeah. I thought.
I feel like that too kind of betrays the idea that, you know, Emerald was going for like a shocking sexy, Euphoria-esque kind of
I got you. Yeah.
thing with this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She was watching Euphoria. I was like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then tried.
Well, Will,
Yes.
it's been a long time since we recorded last.
It's true. Are we about to talk about like how unprecedented the times were and how we wish the times were a little bit more precedented?
A lot has happened, so we should speak on it.
Yes, it is.
So unfortunately, as you may know, if you've been reading the news, you're probably well aware that the Xbox 360 marketplace is now dead. It went down.
I actually did hear. I know this is a bit, but I did hear about that.
It's not a bit. I'm dead serious.
Oh, okay.
It's an end of an era.
I mean, yeah, in a way.
There was no other news headlines besides that, right? In the last 2 weeks, nothing crazy.
No,
happened.
I was in Tacoma, so I didn't listen to anything. I was really high out of my mind.
Definitely no major earth-shattering, or at least nation-shattering kind of news happened.
No, I think you
back to back.
You texted me
Right.
something. I was on the way to go get some sushi, and you were like, "Damn, man, I can't believe that they missed." And I was like,
"Missed
what?
Are you going to make me Jack Black you? Come on."
And I was like, "Missed what?" And you go, "Missed their flight." The CEO of Microsoft is flying over to Xbox headquarters to shut down the 360 marketplace.
Oh, I thought you were going to reference the.
I wasn't trying to reference.
No, the other thing that what was the huge computer crash the other day?
Oh yeah, dude. No, okay, hold on. Actually, that's really funny.
CrowdStrike.
CrowdStrike. Yeah, CrowdStrike fucked up a lot of the people flying in for our event.
Oh god,
dead serious.
That's right.
Yeah,
because all the flights. Yeah, I saw a GIF of all the flights being slowly grounded overnight.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy, Jared. I'm not even kidding you, dude. The Monday that I had to fly back to home, I was in the Delta thing, and the lady was like, "I need volunteers to take later flights," and they were like, "We'll give you $1,000."
Yeah,
and so I texted my wife. I was like, "Hey, should I do this?" She's like, "Absolutely, you fucking idiot!" And so I volunteered for it, and I almost got picked, but I didn't. But one of my coworkers trying to get home volunteered, and he got it. And the second flight that he was supposed to get on got canceled, and he got stuck in Washington for a week.
Oof.
Yeah.
And that $1,000 runs out fast after all those hotel bills.
Exactly.
You can milk it though. The airline is supposed to pay for all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But you have to remind them basically. Yeah. Pete Buttigieg was talking about that the other day.
It's kind of crazy, but so that was a little bit, that was really relevant. That one thing, that one, unprecedented thing that happened really affected me.
Yeah. Nothing else though.
No,
that was it.
Which one of us is going to cave first, Jared?
Is going to what?
Cave first.
Cave to what?
Oh, about the things that have happened.
What are you talking about? That's Xbox 360. You can't buy Halo anymore, man.
You can buy Halo 5.
Who wants?
You can buy Halo Collector.
I am a Halo 5 defender.
I know nobody wants to buy that shit. You can buy.
No, you can get the Master Chief Collection.
I was gonna say you can get the Master Chief Collection.
Honestly, it's a really good product too.
I'm very.
It's come a long ways since launch, and it's just you could play that game for the rest of your life probably now. There's
no, you can't because they'll close the Xbox One marketplace in a decade.
Yeah. Well, it's not always online, but
Yeah.
So
Donald Trump got shot in the ear.
Did he?
Oh, don't.
I'm serious.
Jared,
have you seen that ear?
Jared, stop it.
I think it was just fragments. No, it's just fragments, man. Even the FBI tested.
Blue Anon, dude. Don't you fucking do it to me, dude. I've seen some fucking computers because
I thought it was confirmed that it was glass shards. It wasn't the bullet,
dude. I'm not gonna get. Don't get me fucking started.
Because I was like, anytime I see somebody say he took a bullet for this country, it's like, bro, no, he fucking didn't.
It doesn't even fucking matter because it doesn't help his polls at all. Dude.
I know
he hasn't even got a bump.
It's so funny.
My man got shot in the fucking ear and it did nothing.
Yeah, then he hired a fucking couch fucker. That's what happens.
You mean the dolphin porn enthusiast?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so that's the real one, right?
Yeah. You know what's really cool?
What?
That it's Jover, dude. And I want you to...
It's the most Jover, but we can say it with a happy face.
That's right.
He went out on his own terms.
Don't cry because it's Jover. Smile because it happened.
Damn right. And then Jorkin the Peanuts Vance is
dude,
now...
he is Jorkin that thing, and by it, I mean, well...
I'm so glad that we get to... I hope I hope a lot of people stuck around this far. So
we've only been recording for an hour.
I know.
I've been watching that clock.
I wanted to make sure that we got enough Saltburn talk in before we got goofy, because I didn't want to open with the goofy.
Yeah, me and Jared haven't seen each other in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and like and a lot of shit has happened.
Eventful 3 weeks in like 4 years.
Like no shit, dude. We recorded the fucking the damn Prestige thing.
Yeah.
The very next day, I'm out getting fucking hibachi, and you text me like, holy shit, they shot at Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Dude. And like the week before that, my fucking cat died. And it's just been crazy. And then while I was working in Tacoma, fucking Joe Biden gets out of the goddamn race, and now we've got Coconut Lady. Have you been hit in the head by a coconut tree? Whatever. I don't even fucking know.
Are you coconut pilled?
Bro, are you fucking, is it Brat Summer right now? Dude, it's so Brat Summer right now. Also love that apparently like there's a big thing like Gen Z is finding out that Charlie XCX is like one of us.
A millennial?
Oh yeah, and they're like, oh, I didn't think she was old. I thought she was like 20. And they're calling us old.
Yeah. Speaking of old,
yeah,
are you going to see Trap?
Oh, absolutely not.
What if I see it?
You can see it.
And then we do an episode and it's just me telling you how good Trap is and you gaslighting me that it's bad.
I don't need to gaslight you. I don't even think I'll have to put in the effort. I think that you'll be gaslighting me that it's good.
I'll be gassing you up.
No, absolutely not. I bet you that movie's going to fucking suck. Because M. Night Shyamalan's a fucking hack. He can't do it anymore. I think I'll be so fucking vindicated.
I don't
in
think
like people
have ever been more hyped for an M. Night Shyamalan
When does it
movie.
shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I'm serious. Like in a long time.
Jared, I am the common denominator, dude. I am the everyman, and I think this is going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad. I think you're going to be apologizing me in however many weeks this stupid movie comes out.
I really hope not.
When does it come out?
August 2nd.
Yeah, I bet you don't hope that it sucks, because you're going to be spending your hard-earned fucking money on it, and you're giving M. Night Shyamalan, a man who does not deserve your cash, money to go see this fucking movie. I'll be seeing Deadpool and Wolverine the same day.
Eat that slop,
and I'm going to tell you right now, dude, that slop is at least slop is better tasting than shit, is what I got to say. I fucking hate M. Night Shyamalan.
I didn't see Longlegs in theaters. And
I didn't either.
I'm pretty sure it's already out because Disney is demanding that they play Deadpool like every 15 minutes. So nothing else is in theaters right now. Unfortunate. That's a real story. Yeah.
I've been told, well, I mean, the same thing happened when Hateful Eight was out, but I've been told that it's really good. I've only seen that one clip that I sent you actually on Instagram, and I'm intrigued, but like, when the fuck am I gonna have the time to go?
Okay, I've had people tell me like Longlegs is the scariest movie they've ever seen, and I'm like, because it wasn't just like the marketing, which was really good. Yeah, but like
I highly doubt it, but I will say, you know how I told you about my coworker who's like went sicko mode one day and watched like Mother, Maxine, X, and Arrival, and all that. He watched all the shit in a day. Yeah,
that's a lot of emotional trauma.
He really likes movies.
I was a wreck after Arrival, and I hadn't even had my kid yet.
I also cried. So he had watched Longlegs, and he asked me, because he knows that I'm a fucking weirdo too. And he's like, hey man, have you seen it? I was like, no. He goes, dude, you're doing yourself a disservice. Watch that movie now.
I know.
You know? And so like,
if we weren't super busy when it came out, that would have been a perfect debaser movie.
Oh, 100%. Well, there's no reason why we can't cover it.
No, when it comes out on demand and stuff, we will absolutely cover it. But like, I feel bad that I couldn't see it in theaters.
Same.
Like, but like having a kid does that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, also I quit my job. So,
well, I mean, we're you know, me and Haley are trying to get a fucking sitter just to watch our son so we can go see this damn Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't like Deadpool as a character. I've always hated him. I think he's a stupid character, and like for a long time there were so many people dressing up like him at conventions and thinking that
assaulting people,
wearing the outfit gave them a free pass to act like absolute fucking fools.
Yep.
And ruined the character for me. That being said, I remember seeing the first movie in theaters on Valentine's Day with my wife, and it was a blast.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
The second one was also very fun, and they're just very fun movies. I like to laugh. I like gore.
You're gonna have a great time.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
Without giving it away, I am kind of mad about something that happens in this movie because it happened in this movie, and that's all I'll say.
Okay. I'll text you.
Yeah.
I know you know. You know, I'm gonna have to reach out to you whenever I finish watching it.
Yeah. So people listening, if they've seen it, they know what I'm talking about because of like if they know who I am.
Yeah.
But like, there's a thing in this movie that when I heard about it, I was so fucking mad. So I will have to see it eventually, but like I'm not going to go to the theater to see it.
No. You have to be. We have to be selective in what we see.
Yeah,
and like my wife has seen Twisters, and she's seeing it again the day that this drops.
I would legit love to see that in 4DX.
Yeah, but like, see,
that's so unfeasible. Like, it's such a trek.
Yeah, I know, right? But like, that's not a movie that I'm really interested in seeing. So like, it's chill with me just staying home and watching the kids so she can go see this movie.
Yeah,
and I find that if I want to see films, if we cannot get a sitter, I'll end up seeing it without her. And like we're on the same frequency, so it's almost like a disservice to do that, you know. Like when I saw Furiosa, which I got Haley to watch Furiosa, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But like when I went to see that by myself, like it was really gripping and really good, but I had nobody to talk to about it at the end. I couldn't talk to you about it because we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know. So that's just like. Seeing films is an experience that is better done with people that you have a common interest with, so that you can discuss it, and it's a communal experience. And
because I've seen now, I saw Dune 2 and Furiosa without my wife, and it was like I couldn't come home and tell her about it.
Yeah,
you know, I was like, I know you're going to see this in a few weeks, but like, it's so good.
It's so good.
You know? And I can't really say anything else, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt so bad. It was a bummer, you know?
It is a bummer.
Yeah. But those were movies where it was like, I have to go see that in the theater, you know? Because that's like, those were theatrical experiences. And like Furiosa was like a long running franchise that I've always loved, you know? And Dune was like, well, Dune 1 was
one of the best sci-fi fucking franchises.
And I made a point to see that in the theater when the first one came out, because it was like, you know, like heavy COVID, if I remember right.
Yep.
And but my wife and I were like, let's just put on masks and go, you know, and it was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know anything besides Trap that's coming out in August, but I have a ton of movies that I want us to cover, but then we got a weird schedule, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it on pod or anything. But I've got a lot of movies.
I'm excited.
Lined up.
You know me, man. I love watching movies.
When should we do our Debaser Pride Month?
Whenever. You know what? We should have tried to. You know what? This movie is a Pride movie. A man jerks off another man.
So yeah, the main character is like an evil bisexual. So yeah, it's an LGBTQ plus movie.
Yeah, that's right.
In like a bad way. You know what I mean?
In the worst way possible.
He's bad representation.
Yeah. But here at Debaser, any representation
representation is still representation. So we still respect it.
Yeah. Pride Month is every month.
Speaking of that, you saw the It Follows director is making a sequel.
You know what's funny is you told me this, and I want to say you told me this either last year or the year before that.
Oh, yeah.
And we both were like, we both really loved that film.
Yeah.
But did it need a sequel?
I don't think it does.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
But I'm interested to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that guy's in director jail because people did not like his last movie, Under the Silver Lake. Did you see that?
We tried to watch it and it was bad. Yeah, I did watch that. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
that's
I've
the one
heard
with
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I did watch it and it was boring as fuck. It was not good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it, and I just never watched it out of like afraid to be disappointed.
And next time you're around Haley, if you remember, ask her what her opinion was on that one, because we rented that and watched it, and I did not care for it.
It's been sitting on my hard drive for a long time.
Yeah.
I keep being like, I should watch it. Maybe I'll appreciate it. I don't know.
There's no point.
Because I've met people that hated It Follows, and I'm just like, well, you're wrong.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Yeah. You know? That's true. Neon, the studio Neon's doing a new movie.
Oh, well, Longlegs is now their best performing movie.
Was that their
Yeah, Longlegs.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was the same studio.
Outperformed every other movie they've ever had. Parasite.
Studio Neon did Parasite?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
That was their...
that's crazy.
I think their best performing movie. Highest grossing. That's the term I'm looking for.
Gotcha. I did not know they did Parasite. That's wild. I thought that A24 had Parasite, but I guess I'm incorrect.
No, that was definitely Neon. Yeah, I remember because that was one of the first times where Neon picked up a movie that everyone thought was going to be an A24 thing.
Film.
And they were like, who is Neon? And then there were people... and like film Twitter and stuff being like, y'all are sleeping on Neon.
Yeah,
like,
you
they
are.
do some good shit.
They do some good shit, but they are definitely like the off-brand A24.
We've covered
anything. Quite a few other films.
2 of their Palme d'Or winners, Titan and Anatomy of a Fall.
Neon did Anatomy of a Fall? Motherfucker.
Yeah, they're like quietly becoming as good as A24. Yeah.
That's good. Good for them.
Yeah,
but
right?
honestly, good for them. Yeah, I can't think of anything that's like coming out soon that I want to see.
Their first movie was Colossal. That movie with Anne Hathaway that controls.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. It's been sitting on my to-watch list for years.
Okay.
Literal years.
It's actually adorable.
Yeah.
That
I heard
movie
it's actually a
rules.
rom-com with, is it Jason Sudeikis?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of is, but then kind of isn't.
Yeah. I need to watch it.
It's
looks
good.
Because when I read the premise, I'm like, that is an incredible premise, you know?
It's great. I love it a lot. It's a very fun one.
Well, yeah. I mean, RIP Xbox 360 Marketplace.
There was a lot of fun moments, you know. I remember spending a little bit of money on Emil's armor for Halo Reach for my avatar.
I bought the RC Warthog.
That's right. I remember your dude having that. Yeah.
And I had like some Halo cargo shorts that I got for like getting an achievement in one of the Halos.
Yeah. The helmet I got from an achievement, but I had to buy the rest of it, which I definitely did. And I bought Anthony Carmine's armor and helmet because I love Anthony Carmine. Well,
eventually I got, when the Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 like HD collection came out, I just bought the Snake Eater like BDU.
Yeah.
And it was like $10 and I was like,
well, you know, Jared, we're never going to get those $10 back, but we'll always have the memories.
Exactly. Well, the Avatar lives on. Does it? You can have it on the new Xboxes if you want.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not that you should, because they're just so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went on and you could buy like a bunch of games went on sale, but it was nothing like amazing. And like not many were backwards compatible, unfortunately. They got rid of a lot of them. And a lot of, you know, publishers will like, oh, we're going to like HDify this game, although barely.
Yeah.
And then they just take it off the old marketplace and then sell it for $10 or $20 on the new one, you know?
Sad.
But I did pick up a Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
That's cool.
And you can play that on the modern Xbox. And that's probably one of the best Splinter Cells. I think it's in contention for best.
I've never played any of them.
Oh shit. Yeah. That was my entry to stealth games.
I thought the one game that had the multiplayer where one person plays as the stealth guy and four people play as the security guards.
Spies versus Mercs.
Was really ingenious.
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I had so much fun in middle school. Like staying up late, not doing my homework.
I didn't have Xbox Live, so I couldn't partake.
It was so good, man.
Yeah.
It was like, you felt like it wasn't the adrenaline rush I would get. It was insane.
I bet.
Yeah.
It looked exciting. Like I watched back when G4 and Tech TV, I think when they were emerging or right before they merged, there was a game show where they had teams play video games in versus mode to like see who could be the best.
Yeah.
And one of the
esports, pre-Twitch.
Yep. And one of the games that they played was that Splinter Cell game.
Yep. Spies versus Mercs, baby.
Yeah.
So
they did that. Sorry, they did that. They did Jedi Temple. Or
Jedi Academy 2.
That one.
Yeah.
They played Mech Warrior, which always was one of my favorites. I loved watching them play Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
Mech Warrior is like I love that franchise.
Yeah.
And like a couple of different things. It was really neat. I really enjoyed that. I have like fond memories of that stuff. So I remember
Warrior
like
or Mech Assault.
Huh?
Mech Warrior or Mech Assault?
It was the clunkier of the two.
Oh, Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the one with Corn and Papa Roach.
No, not those. This was before that game actually. I do know which one. I played the fuck out of that game. That game fucking
2
ruled. Yeah. Mech Assault 2 fucking kicked ass.
When She Loves Me Not kicks on during that boss fight, I was like, what are you doing? Did the devs just watch too much MTV while making this?
Jared, something that something that gives me hope, that lets me know that Generation Alpha is gonna fucking rule. I went to Epcot yesterday with my son.
Yeah.
And I was walking past like a mom and her like 11-year-old son.
Yeah.
And on that kid's shirt was fucking Corn.
No
baby.
way.
Dead serious. Right at the park entrance. 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wanted to be like, yo, kid, I love your shirt. But I'm like, I'm 30.
Yeah. But
I can't say that shit.
When I was in middle school, Corn was like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I got chastised for it constantly by the other kids.
Oh, you're telling me I should have told him that his shirt was cool because it would have given him like a bump.
But, like I was at Target the other day, similarly.
Yeah.
And like I just mentioned to my wife, I'm like, there's like a lot of like, maybe goth isn't the right word, but like kids in all black.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't noticed.
And I was just like, I'm so glad that that's a thing.
It's still a thing, yeah.
Because like when I was wearing all black when I was like 12 or 13, like I was like one of the only kids doing it.
Same.
Anymore.
I got jumped.
Yeah, I got picked on all the time about it, and now it's like cool, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, don't be a gatekeeper.
Well, like you're saying, like Gen Alpha, man, the kids are
all right. That's
I'm
right,
glad
baby.
I'm glad to see that shit that was like fringe when we were kids is now cool.
Yep.
And that makes me, I feel like such an old fucking man. But at least I'm not being like a fuddy-duddy where I'm complaining about it.
Brother,
you know what I mean?
my bones turn to dust on a daily basis. So it's okay.
But I am repeatedly like, I am not the kind of person that like sees things about like younger generation and then like gets upset about it. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's the people older than me that are always pissing me off. On that note.
Yes.
I know you watch a lot of Hassan still, right?
Yeah, I still watch Hassan.
Do you watch Northern Lion?
I've never even heard of that.
You should check out Northern Lion.
Okay.
He's not a political streamer, but he will delve into politics a little bit. But here's the incredible thing. And like, I know Hassan is actually our age, but he just doesn't really act like it.
Yeah, he's like 32.
Yeah. But he like, his audience is like Gen Z mostly. Yeah. Northern Lion is 35 and is very much 35 in like a very comfortable way.
Yeah.
And is an extremely normal man. And he has like a wife and a family and kids and stuff. And is like very like, he's like regular. Like I can't stress enough, like for a famous Twitch streamer, he is
very
like,
regular.
Not someone to like worship or like idolize. Yeah. But he is just like a normal chill dude who has like good opinions on stuff. So watching him is very interesting. And and what's amazing is for a Twitch streamer, he has a great vocabulary.
Oh, that's
and
good.
He can like, he can riff or dunk on people in a very eloquent way where you're just like, God damn, I love this guy.
See, I that's what I want to be. I want to be like a normal guy with good opinions.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I think we should all strive to just be like a normal dude with a regular life and good opinions.
That's right.
That's the,
even you ladies
that should
out
be
there,
the bar, you know?
Be a normal dude.
Yeah.
And have good opinions.
But yeah, I highly recommend Northern Lion. But I mean, I don't need to promote him.
Is that your shout out?
Sure.
For this week?
That's my, that's
Would you
my
like
shout out today. Things that are making me happy this week.
I've got one.
What's that?
So when I went to Colorado with my wife, my wife, and she took me to Meow Wolf, the Convergence station there.
Oh, right.
It was very transformative for me. Like I'd never been in like an art institution like that. What was that?
I mean, your senses were a little.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, yeah, 100%. And when it hit, I was like, "Holy shit! I'm literally in a completely different world." But so one thing that I saw there, because they have like a bunch of different independent artists that do some of the rooms, and also some of the visuals, and they have a small theater inside the art installation that is dressed up like a theater where you can watch films. And this film that was playing when I went there was called Gemini, and it was, from what I understood,
2 Will Smiths.
Yeah, there was 2 Will Smiths, and it was great. And one of them was younger than the other one. It was kind of weird, and it was like hunting them down. And so, like, this movie with the 2 Will Smiths was an allegory to me for the Bible, and it was just like the way that it was being described was like in ellipses that almost made it feel like you were losing not sanity, but like you're becoming dumb and like numb to everything, you know? And I had sat in there for like maybe 3 minutes. It felt like 2 hours. I had lost 2 hours of my life, but like I was entranced by this. Like I was like obsessed with it. I wouldn't stop quoting it, even long after I'd left Colorado. Right. But I couldn't find, who made this, and I couldn't watch it. Right. Well, lucky for me, Haley is way more vigilant. And when she went to Colorado this week, she went back to Meow Wolf and saw Gemini and got the artist name for me. So I would like to plug Max Mather Art. This is a transmasculine person who created this film Gemini, and the movie is a like 8-minute short film that is not only about the beginning of the Bible, how the world was created, but also about
like Genesis. Okay,
yeah, exactly. But also about the transgendered experience, and how at an early age, when body dysphoria hits you, that there is a loss of innocence, and there's so much more going on in this short film that I just love. And they've got a website. You can Google Max Mather Art, and they have a breakdown of the film, and you can even watch it. And if you like weird shit, if you like just really letting something wash over you, check it out. Check out Gemini. I really liked it, and I think that more people should watch it.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like my shout out was like pathetic in comparison. I'm like really blown away, and I can't wait to watch this.
No, I'm very fucking obsessed with this. You know what's funny is like Haley had sent this to me, and I was going to watch it last night.
Yeah.
But I got really lost in The Boys because I'm rewatching The Boys.
Yeah.
But like it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really fucking good.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
On that note, should we just commit to doing I Saw the TV Glow next? No, October?
Yeah, October. So
October.
you wanted to do Thelma, which I'm wholeheartedly into, especially because you're like, it's a weird premise, and then it gets really silly, and the main actress is good. So like I would definitely love to do Thelma. I really do think we should put Roger Rabbit somewhere on there because like it's so like relevant in a way, you know, like with how Red Lobster's going out of business because a company bought the
venture capitalists.
Yeah, exactly. It's venture capitalism, but in 1988, but based on 1940, and based on a movie that you were telling me, or like something that
it's similar to Chinatown.
Yeah,
the plot. Yeah.
So I think that would be a really fun one because like I have fond memories of growing up watching Roger Rabbit and not knowing what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And not only does it have a crazy good message, but it also was like a feat of film in general, like getting two large cartoon companies to work together is like something of itself.
They hadn't merged or bought each other out.
Yeah.
That's the incredible thing. Like that's kind of happening now. Like you could argue Deadpool is kind of like a similar, experience, but it's just because like a enormous corporation bought out another one.
Yeah.
And so now all these like characters are merging in it, And but like with Roger Rabbit, like that is such a goddamn. It's we don't get movies like that anymore.
We don't.
To use the phrase that I like, waste all the time on the show.
The only film that even comes close was a parody of Roger Rabbit, which was the Chip and Dale movie that came out on Disney Plus.
The recent one?
Yes. Their whole inspiration was Roger Rabbit.
Right.
And they even like reference Shrek in there.
Yeah.
So like there's stuff for sure, but it was not nearly as ambitious as Roger Rabbit.
The work on that movie was so meticulous too.
I bet.
Like I know the Jessica Rabbit like dance scene like took animators like so fucking long, and they did so much work to get it right too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like holy shit. Like all the actors' sight lines are right and everything. God damn.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So I would love to do that. I can't think of like any other movies that excite me,
I kind of want to do The Beekeeper soon.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's do it. I still need to watch fucking Civil War, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Not that we need to talk about it, but I do need to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other things that are on your Plex that are new movies that have come out that I need to watch.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably do The People's Joker before October because I don't think it's like horror adjacent.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
I would really love to spotlight that movie.
Yeah.
Period. Anyway.
If you wanted that to be the next one too, I'm down because like it just came out.
There's probably it just came out.
Yeah.
Like it's available for everyone to watch as of like today. So when you're hearing this, like it was yesterday. And like I want as many people to see that movie as possible. Like that movie needs a big audience.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to watch it. I can't wait to talk about it. Well, folks, that's been our show. Thank you for listening to Debaser. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod. My wonderful co-host is Will. You can find Will on Instagram @pocket_infinity.
Did you know me so well?
You asked me not to shoot to you for plugs. So.
Yeah, not this time.
For the Debaser Podcast, I'm Jared Rusk. Goodbye. Debaser is hosted and produced by Will Taylor and Jared Rusk. Want to email the show? Send it to podcast@debaserpod.com. Want to help us out? Please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice, especially Apple Podcasts. If you write a 5-star review of Debaser on Apple Podcasts, I may read your review in a future episode. Thanks for listening, and take care out there.